Alright, lesson 3 is over weather forecasting. So for your vocab, you have a surface report, describes a set of weather measurements made at the Earth's surface. Pretty self-explanatory there. Upper air report is the same kind of thing. It describes wind, temperature, and humidity conditions above the Earth's surface. We have Doppler radar, which is a specialized type of radar that can collect precipitation as well as the movement of small particles, which can be used to approximate wind speed. An isobar is a line that connects all places on a map where pressure has the same value. So these lines all have the same amount of pressure. And a computer model is a detailed computer program that solves a set of complex math formulas. So, measuring weather. A scientist who studies the weather is called a meteorologist. They use tools such as a thermometer, which measures temperature, a barometer, which measures pressure, an anemometer, which measures wind, and psychrometers, which measure humidity. Weather information on the Earth's surface is collected by weather stations. So this is what a weather station would look like. Here you have the diagram of weather station, where you have the wind sensor on top, temperature and humidity. Right here you have your rain collector. And this is what it would look like in real life. Information further above the Earth's surface is collected by a radiosonde. A radiosonde is essentially a weather balloon that carries all the stuff that we saw in that last picture. They're checked twice daily, and there are hundreds around the world. So here we have a picture of a radiosonde, and this is what's all included. You have your pressure sensor, your GPS receiver, your humidity sensor, your temperature sensor. Satellites take pictures or videos of the Earth's surface. Satellite pictures are visible light images. So like the picture you take on a camera is a visible light image. Infrared images are taken and false color is added by computers. So this is a different type of picture. These are used to determine cloud height and atmospheric pressure. So the picture on the right or on the left here, this would be a satellite picture with visible light. Ooh. This, on the other hand, is an infrared picture. See right here, this would be more cloud cover, this blue band, and that's what that's used for. Radar measures precipitation with radio waves. The waves bounce off of the water or the ice back to where they were sent from, and that's how we know where the precipitation is. They can measure wind speeds and are very important during storms. So these would be the kinds of things that you would be used to be looking at, a radar. Mostly when we talk about radar, we're talking about Doppler radars. But we've seen this before where the green is kind of mild and yellow is a little more heavy rain, and then red could be thunderstorms. Weather maps take all the collected data and put it into a map for easy visualization. So we're not talking about radar anymore, we're talking about the kind of maps that we've already worked with. Station models show data from specific weather stations. They use symbols, numbers, and numbers to show temp, wind, pressure, etc. I'll show us an example of that here in a bit. But this is the weather map. When we talk about weather map, this is what we're talking about, where we have our high pressures, our low pressures, we have our fronts, and our isobars right here. Remember, the isobars all have the same amount of pressure. This is what we're talking about when we're talking about station models. So this would be a picture, or we could have a map that had a bunch of these. So this whole thing would be a station model, and it would tell you a lot of information about a bunch of different cities fairly quickly. You can tell the temperature right away, the type of weather, so depending on whether it's snowing, raining, you would have different symbols here. The dew point, which again is a temperature, sky cover, so if this was cloudy or really cloudy, it would be filled in more. You have your pressure trend, so it's trending negative right now, it's going down, and you have your sea level pressure. The last one is wind. If it's windier, you'll have more of these lines coming out of this, and if it gets to a certain point, you'll have a little flag. Mapping temperatures and pressure. Isobars indicate air pressure, as well as wind speed and wind direction. So we know that an isobar tells you that that line all has the same amount of pressure, so we can get a lot of information about the wind from that. The isotherm, iso is a prefix that means same. So in this case, bars means pressure, and therm means temperature. So an isotherm is a line that has all the same temperature, all the way along the line, and can tell us where fronts are. Predicting weather is done mostly by computers. They're used to collect data and try to predict what will happen. The information is made available to the public through the internet, news, weather. So when you get upset with the with the weatherman, he's not really to blame. He's doing the best he can with what he has in front of him, and a lot of this is automated. They give it to the computer processes it out, and then he just kind of interprets the data. But that will do it for lesson 3.